this year's London Party podcast. This will be our second annual podcast, ready to discuss the ins and outs of the game and getting ready for the tournament this year. Grant, how are we feeling about this year's London Party Championship?
This season has been incredible. I think last year we thought that, you know, the gap between the top and the middle and the bottom were kind of closing, but this year it almost feels
right
completely gone because every game in the first round just feels stacked. It's like, no, we got to move this guy because, you know, it'll be too good of a matchup, but we just can't anymore because we got so many good players, and I think it's really fun.
The skill gap has narrowed down exponentially, and now we'll see as we get in and discuss to each of the different players. But I mean, it's night and day last year from this season. So I'm excited to talk about our players and eventually get in the championship. We got a lot to discuss today, folks. So
we got we're gonna talk about seedings, matchups, and then how regular season storylines and how they're gonna carry on to the championship. So
let's start with the players. So we're just gonna go bottom to top. So let's start with Maddie.
So our wild card is Maddie this year. I mean Maddie did all right last year. She just doesn't play that much. She has good natural ability. Like the very first game we ever saw her in, she did pretty good and she almost won it. She is in a very hard game, so it's going to be she's in the Super Wild Card this year, which is something we introduced.
Okay, Super Wild Card. Last year, the last 2 years, we've had a normal wild card, where the three second place of the first 3 games go to the wild card, battle it out, first place gets to go to the championship. We've changed that, because we've seen the wild card, the final seed, that can give the final seed an advantage. So we've introduced the Super Wild Card, which is now the third place winners from all the first games go to the Super Wild Card plus the Wild Card, which Maddie is.
Yep.
They're gonna duke it out. Winner of that game goes to the actual Wild Card, which will be the 3 second places once again.
Yep.
They'll battle it out. First place there gets to go to the championship.
Yeah, so Maddie's path would look like a Super Wild Card win, then a Wild Card win, and then she would go to the championship. So
honestly, it's a tough path.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's
It's a long shot for Maddie to make it to the championship, much less take home the victory. But we're just happy she's playing.
Yeah, Maddie's a really fun player.
She's a fun player. She may not care about it that much, but it's fun to have her play, and she brings a nice energy to it.
Yeah.
So our next competitor is the last 4 seed. This is going to be Evie File Sticker. Now, Evie's spirit is undeniable.
Yeah,
she's a very electric player. She is one of the fan favorites out of all the players. She was the fan favorite last year. She had a great underdog, almost get to the championship story, sadly with the loss in the wild card. But problem with Evie is she just can't stack up with the new generation of players that we see today. I mean, in a generation where we still have the vets, the crafty veterans. They've been staples for a long time. But you add Matt, you add Mason, you add Jack who's coming along. I mean, Nolan's always consistent too. It's a very tough game to play when you're with all these heavy hitters.
But I have no doubt that Evie's going to come out and she's going to compete on that championship day, and she's going to put herself in a situation where she's got a chance.
She always does bring enough spirit and competitiveness to where, hey, I may not have the most skill, but I'm going to go out there and freaking fight. And that's what we love about Evie.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep.
All right, next we got Max, who is pretty much the opposite as Evie. I mean, he has great skill. We've seen it. He's gotten a lot better.
A lot of potential.
So much potential.
Always had potential.
So much potential, but he doesn't have that spirit that Evie has. He has a more negative spirit towards the game.
If things go wrong, you can count him goodbye. Because
I mean, his regular season stats were he won his first game. He won like a good game with like Nolan, Matt, Mason, I think. And then after that, he got 3 4th places in a row. And so he's very up and down. We're gonna see what attitude he has on that day and whatever attitude.
A negative attitude can really contribute to, like, anything can happen. You could be down to 4th place, get a page trade, you're back in first.
Yeah.
But when you have that give up mentality, it's like it's hard to come back in. When you're down, you're just beating yourself down. You gotta fight to get back up. And we'll see if Max can do it. I don't know if he has an attitude change. He could be one of the better players.
Yeah, he could be the Mason of this tournament gets in that right headspace and goes at it.
But we're gonna need to see improvements from the mental side of it. Next we got Connor. Now, Connor, one of the most polarizing figures in London Party. He has had a hell of a career.
Yeah,
Let's
really
just say that.
I think he's the first player to actually play the game.
First player to ever play the game. The problem is he's a longtime competitor and it's a changing game.
Yeah,
it really is.
He's kind of fallen behind this newer age of.
His experience is unmatched by any opponent, but the electricity brought by Matthew, Ike, and Mason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to catch up. See, Connor is a very good player when it comes to free time.
Yeah, free time, mini games,
free time, mini games, board placement. He's a smart player. But when it comes to competition time, what we see from these newer players is dominance in competition time. Like Matt's ability in uneven bars to take him out of the competition.
Mason, when he was Donkey Kong and it was fencing, he was coming out there with 5 stickers.
When Ike comes in and, like, one thing about Ike, we'll talk about him later, but when he comes into a competition time, it's like, and he needs a win, he is furious.
Yeah.
He's fighting. He is on top of it.
Last year he just came up short in those Dream Uneven. We had like 3 Dream Uneven bars in that one party, and I just came up short in the last one.
Well, when you're facing one of the all-time greats, it's tough to dominate.
But yeah, that's where Connor's at right now. I mean, going from a 1 seed to a 4 seed in one regular season is hard.
Brutal. It is. I know he's hungry though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's got ways. I could legit see him in the championship.
Yeah.
But based on the regular season that he's had and the evolution of all the players, it's just you can't put him up there with the competition. Right now.
You got Addie.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna talk about Addie now. Addie, the last 3 seed. Addie, there's a lot to say about Addie. I mean, she can bring a spark to any game. She may kind of be down on it before, but when she gets in the game, she's a competitor.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
She finds her way to be close in every party. You don't see her falling behind a lot.
But she lacks the ability to dominate a game.
Yeah, she can't close out the game.
Closing out is a very hard skill for her, but she's always in the games. Now, in the area of, she's another one like Connor, where she's strong as a competition type.
Yeah, she does.
She's a very smart player. I think she's one of the more intelligent board players. I think she's a more intelligent board player than Connor. She's not as good as Connor at free time and those mini games, but she's
in a tough game too. So
she is. She's an okay competition time player, but when you're up against the heavy hitters, she struggles. Which is why I could see her making a run, but I think it'd be very unlikely. In the game that she's in, she's gonna have a tough time. But it doesn't take much to get in that super wild card. And when you're facing competition in the super wild card, it's on your level. You're not facing heavy hitters. So if you get to that super wild card, you have a chance of getting up the ranks.
Yeah, I mean, that's where she can build her confidence too and go into the wild card with more momentum.
Momentum is huge.
Yeah.
You always want momentum.
All right. Next middle 3 seed we have Jack. I think he's shown he can be a great player. He's won some great games. He won a great game in the regular season with me, Mason, and Matt were in it or something like that. But like we said with Max, he doesn't have the passion or the excitement for the game.
But that's different. Jack's not gonna quit.
But it's true.
Jack's not gonna quit.
But we haven't really seen it affect his game yet.
He is somebody he's never been that exciting spark plug.
Yeah.
But he's always gonna stay in the game. He doesn't quit.
I rather done. He plays more like a vet than a youngin.
He does. He really does. That's why we don't classify him as the young new breed.
Yeah.
But Jack has the ability to win games. It's not consistent.
Yeah.
But he's always gonna be able he always has that ability.
He's what you want out of a 3 seed.
He is. He's a very solid 3 seed, and I really think he could have a shot at making his first championship.
I think so too.
If he pulls something out, I really do think he could find his way in the top game.
Yeah.
Who do we got next?
Yeah,
we got Nolan. Nolan, our top 3 seed, after a game or after an appeal by Kelvin Hugh. After Nolan was at the start of the season the undisputed third 1 seed.
Yeah,
right?
he was. I mean, it was like the Noble 3, we were the 1 seeds.
Until it was Easter. Easter, we had a ton of games on Easter. It was a action-packed week. And then Nolan struggled, where Ike prevailed.
Yeah.
And then
Ike and Matt both.
So Nolan found his way in a 2 seed. And Kelvin, slipping down to a 3 seed, realized, hey, I've been better than him this year, and he made an appeal.
Kelvin has basically never lost to Nolan, so why would he be above me if I've never lost to him?
So we took a look at the stats, and then we realized, hey, Nolan has not done better than Kelvin this season, which is why we bumped Kelvin up to a 2 seed.
Nolan had a ton of hype after the championship, but he hasn't had the regular season that you would want from a 1 seed or a 2 seed.
He failed to capitalize on the hype brought off by that.
I will say this: he is in his own tier when it comes to the 3 seeds. The other 2 3 seeds don't really compare to him.
He is definitely the best 3 seed. We can see that. That's pretty clear. He's always in the game.
Yeah.
He's always in the game. He finds a way to be in the game, and he does not struggle with closing it out.
Yeah, when he's playing worser players, he beats them pretty much every time.
Now, I think with him and Mason, I think Mason's a better stick in the game. He can be a better player when it comes to higher end competition. But with Mason, he struggles closing the game. Nolan does not struggle closing the game. This is the part of the seedings where I think any of these players Nolan and above could find themselves in the championship.
Yeah.
Because he's a dynamic player. He's not an electric player, but he's a dynamic player. And he finds himself in games, and I could see Nolan making a run for it because he's a good player.
And as you said, Kelvin had the appeal, so he's our lowest 2 seed.
Lowest 2 seed, Kelvin.
I think he wants to be great. I think he does have excitement for the game, but right now he's just really good. We haven't really seen him dominate a party that has 1 seeds in it.
Kelvin has always been great in the regular season.
Yeah.
He's a proven regular season guy, but what we haven't seen is any sort of tournament success.
Yeah, we've seen 2 first-round exits.
Kelvin's always had to work his way back up. He always has a disappointing championship, but he works his way back up. Proves that his skills are there. But we're just waiting for the skills to translate. Because Kelvin, great player he is, hasn't had any sort of championship success. I mean, it's really, for a guy of his level, it's hard to believe that he's never made it out of the first round. But Kelvin, dynamic player, he can win games, he can lead.
He has taken a couple months off though, being in Australia right now. So
now, we don't know if he's going to come back with an Australian accent.
With the delay of the tournament though, that could actually benefit Kelvin a lot because now he's going to have more time to get back into the swing of things.
We will talk about the tournament delay later.
Yep.
But I think most people know about it.
Right.
Kelvin could be an exciting round for him.
We got Mason.
Mason. Now, Mason, we've talked about him a little bit. Mason doesn't lack talent. He lacks confidence.
Yeah.
Mason can beat anybody in this game. I find myself in very close matches with Mason. He is very good player.
He's an incredible player.
He's very good all around. He's great at free time. He's good at competition time.
Yep.
He plays the board really well.
Yeah.
He just lacks confidence.
And excitement for the game too.
Yep. He's grown with that excitement for the game.
Yeah.
But it's still, when he has these moments of doubt, it's easier for higher seeds to close the game out. When there's been times where I've seen many games where he's been leading with 3 stickers left to go, but the veterans just gnaw on that lead. He's so close. He has chances. But Mason, he's been to a championship. I mean, he's seen the big lights.
He didn't just win that wild card last year. He kind of ran it.
He really did run the wild card.
It was completely unexpected.
And that was before they had the game. So his skills his skills are undeniable by anybody who
Yeah.
sees him. He's a very good player. It's just a matter of, can he keep the confidence to get to the championship? I mean, he's in a weaker first game. I mean, obviously you're in it, but as far as like second place, or maybe if he does run through, I mean, we've seen crazier things.
Yeah.
We've seen Jack win a game versus.
Could 100% go to the championship after the first round.
I believe Mason is a very good player, and I think he'll show it. I think he will show it in this championship. But it's a matter of confidence.
All right, next up we have Matt as our middle 2 seed. And this was kind of a heartbreaker for him. Top 2 seed, yeah.
Top 2 seed.
He really wanted to be that final 1 seed, but Ike just kind of outplayed him at the end. I think
Fantastic rivalry.
Matt started out the regular season with a win over Ike, and it was really high. It was one of the best regular season games we've seen.
It was fantastic.
And then the next couple of times, Ike had his number, and Matt just kind of lost that final 1 seed at the very end.
Matt's an electric player.
Yeah, he's got great energy. Has improved on at an unbelievable rate.
I think if Ike wasn't there, Matt would be running that third 1 seed position. But Ike kind of has Matt's number.
Yeah, he does.
And Matt is a great player. He's a great player, but when you have a rivalry of that aptitude,
and we're gonna see it again at the championship.
You have got to win one against Ike. I mean, for his legacy. I mean, Ike has absolutely dominated him.
Except for that first game.
Except for the first game.
Yeah.
But since then,
Ike's had his number.
Ike's had his number.
But one of the games, Matt literally had 0 stickers left. It said he did, but Ike. Wait, in the championship last year, where Matt beat out Ike.
Yeah.
So
Ike fell.
That's
and
right.
Matt,
and Ike did not like that either. Matt,
No.
Matt was on the moon after he made the wild card last year because
there's bad blood there.
Yeah, it was straight up Matt who knocked him out. I mean, Ike had a chance and Matt just outplayed
Now,
him.
I shouldn't say that Ike has his number, but as of recently.
Yeah, as of recently.
Ike has been the better competitor. And Matt's got to prove this. Like, it's a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes type rivalry.
It kind of is.
Well,
is it though? Because I don't know. It's so weird. Yeah.
Matt has been. He's beaten Ike when it matters.
But Ike is such a new player too.
But that was
Ike is a different player than he was last year. I think he was a 3 seed.
Yeah.
No, I think
he was a 2 seed.
He
was a 2 seed. Matt was.
But he's gotten even better. And
Yep.
I guess that's what we'll talk about next.
Yep. Well, I'll talk about Ike. I want to say about there's only so good you can be. Ike's, as far as the fundamentals go with the game, Ike is electric.
Yeah.
He is one of the best competition time players that we've seen.
Yeah. At his age too, me and Cash would not have been as good at his age. It's crazy.
It's a matter of maturity. I mean, he is every year he's gonna make that leap. There's only so much better than we can get.
Yeah.
But Ike is getting into that age where he's understanding not just the game but the world better.
Learning how to be competitive.
He's
He also talks a lot though. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the maturity in the game is getting better as far as understanding the game. One thing that Ike lacks strategically is board play. Board play has been a big problem for him in the past.
Yeah.
He's getting better, but despite his constant stickers that he gets for competition times, for free time events, but sometimes he's lacked that board discipline that Matt has not lacked board discipline.
Yeah, Matt's been really good about that.
But their rivalry runs deep, and it's mainly because of Ike's trash talk.
Yeah.
Ike
just made it Matt just want to beat Ike every time.
Ike does not realize it, but he's not trying to. Ike's not trying to smack talk, but he does, and he gets in Matt's head.
Yeah.
And that makes the thing with Ike is that trash talk, it works well in different cases.
It does.
I think it's gonna work real well for his situation in the first
round.
Because the problem is, let's say in a game with Ike, Matt, Jack, and Mason.
Yeah.
Or let's say no, Matt, Jack, and Max. They're all gonna team up on him.
Yeah,
because Matt gets on the train, Jack joins in, Max just gonna join in too.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-on-1 essentially. But when you have the calmer presence like Connor and Addy versus Matt, who's...
When we saw that matchup in the regular season, it was Matt and Ike and then Addy and Connor. Matt and Ike ran the show. It was just them versus each other. Addy and Connor didn't have a chance.
Because there's nobody teaming up on him when you got those calm players. It's Matt may target him, but there's only so much one person can do, and that can be self-deprecating. It really can if you're Matt there, which I think Ike has a great shot at like running this game.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of, can he show up in the tournament? He hasn't shown up in the tournament yet. He hasn't showed up when it's mattered.
2 first-round exits so far, but first year, I mean, he had barely played.
But Ike is a scary competitor. He's definitely transcended among the one seeds.
We're really excited for that one seed.
I think it's going to be a fun retreat. Yep. But he is somebody to watch out for. And I wouldn't want to be in that team this season.
And then obviously, I'm the next 1 seed. Cash is the top 1 seed. I mean,
I'll talk about Grant a little bit. I mean, he's an undeniable second greatest player in London Party history. Regular season, it's very debatable of who's all-time the better regular season player. Two-time runner-up. That doesn't happen by accident. I mean, Grant, there's no real flaws in his game. Everything with the board play, it's fantastic. He always does well in competition time, always does well in free time. Chance time, when you're always the first. It can be tough, but
thank you, appreciate it.
When there's no flaws in the game, you're a hard person to beat.
Cash, 2-time champ, obviously there's the cup right there. He's been the best when it comes to the championships. Both years he's ran his first round game and then controlled the championship and then had the ability to close it out every time. And I think if you're going to beat him, it's got to be the closeout. You're not going to be able to just go jump ahead of him and be able to control that game. You're just going to have to beat him at the end. And
the clutch factor is something that's done me very well in whether it's the first year with the equestrian match. When you have a chance to win, if you're in the championship and you have a chance to win, you better win, because chances like that do not happen often. If you have 3 stickers left and you get your bonus and you gotta win that event, you better win, because the amount of times where, especially like somebody like Mason has a chance, he's 2 stickers away but just doesn't come through, you don't get that chance back, and that's what's gonna separate you from a champion and a runner-up.
This year we have a lot more people who can close it out, so it's gonna be really fun. And we'll talk about the matchups now.
Let's talk.
So we're gonna get us started right away.
First match,
the champion always starts it off.
I will be with me. It will be me, Kelvin, Nolan, and Evie. It's gonna be a fun game. You see, you got the Nolan-Kelvin rivalry where Kelvin has absolutely owned Nolan in the past. Now, I've had Kelvin's number over the past.
Last year the matchup was Cash, Kelvin, Max, and Evie. So replacing Max with Nolan this year makes it a completely different game.
Nolan's a very formidable competitor. He's always in it, and he's always going to be there. The thing with Nolan is he doesn't get behind. Even when he is behind, he doesn't get behind by too much. He's always creeping. Even if he's in third, he's 3 stickers behind. And with a bunch of page trades and the disparity, there's going to be page trades. It's essential to be in those spots.
I think it's going to be
safe.
Really hard to see Evie keep up with those 3.
No,
I think if Evie's going to make it, it's going to have to be another board swap like it was last year.
Evie.
Even for her to get third would be.
Evie might struggle, but all you got to do is get third. It doesn't take too much. There's a lot of luck that goes into it. It's a lot of skill, but there's some big luck that is involved, especially when it comes to getting third and second. Not the worst player doesn't always get fourth every time.
That's true. The worst player rarely gets fourth.
So it's a matter of how will the Kelvin Nolan dynamic play out. Can I run this game, or will
we see Nolan and Kelvin kind of work together a little bit?
Or will they rise to the occasion? Because Kelvin has not risen to the occasion in the past. Nolan has. Nolan's always going to be in it. But I think, in my best case, Kelvin comes out flat,
Yeah.
Nolan sticks with me, and then I finish the game.
Yeah, I could very well see Nolan going to the wild card.
If Kelvin doesn't come out flat, then it could be trouble.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a matter of, does Kelvin show up? Does he want to compete? And is he going to elevate his game to finish the champ?
Yeah. Next matchup would be me, Mason, Jack, and Max. Two youngins in that game, or kind of, Mason and Max. They're both the same when it comes to, are they going to show up and are they going to want to win, or they just want to get it over with?
Mason's more likely to, but I don't know. Jack's a wild card. Anything can happen when Jack's in your game. He could implode, or he could win the whole thing. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with Jack.
And he has gotten a lot better, too, since last year.
Now, Mason's got the talent. It won't be too hard for Mason to show up and...
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Mason was a first-round exit in this game. It seems almost impossible.
I think he's way too good to be a first-round exit. He's undeniably a great player. It's just, will he show up? Especially with Max. If he doesn't show up, at least Mason will get...
Yeah.
Third round.
But I could see Max, like with Mason and Jack in the game, I could see him being a little more competitive than you might think.
Yeah. Thing with Mason is he always elevates his game to the higher level.
Yeah, he does.
Which if you start to run your game, I could see Mason creeping right behind him too, because he always elevates his game. He's very good at that. Unlike somebody like Addie. Addie is somebody who always dips down to lower competition if she's playing them. Where she can compete with like a higher level of competition, but if she's playing low levels of competition, she kind of, doesn't take it as seriously and can fall behind in those games. But that kind of brings us to our last one.
Yeah. This is
the golden matchup, golden hour.
Yeah, this is the prime time game. Like last year, the prime time game was me, Ike, Matt, and was it Jack? I can't remember who was in that game.
It was Jack.
Yeah, I think it was Jack.
It was Jack.
This year it's Ike, Matt, Addie, and Connor, which we saw in the regular season, like I said earlier, and Ike and Matt ran the table.
Yep.
But this time it's the championship.
This is where the big players rise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, since we've had this veterans youngins debacle, this is all regular season. We haven't seen, like, the championship atmosphere is completely different. I don't care what you want to say, but it's not a regular game.
No, it's not.
When the players are going to come to play, and this is a match where I could see Connor go. I could see Connor winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
If Matt and Ike do not rise to the occasion.
The best thing about it is that one of these players will go to the championship.
Which is very exciting, because all these players
That is so fun.
With Ike, Matt, Addie, and Connor, I'd love to see any of them in the championship.
And one of them will be a first-round exit, which is also
one of them will be.
sad.
It is sad, because these are very entertaining players, fun players, rootable players.
Yeah.
And one of them has to go, but three of them are going to stay in, which is really exciting. Yeah. It really is.
We'll talk more about the Ike versus Matt too.
Yeah, I mean, Matt and Ike, they've had the rivalry for a while. When Ike starts talking smack, Matt just can't handle it.
Who do we think is going to actually win this game? I think that's the thing we gotta discuss.
You see, we've seen the preview to it many times. We've seen all the scenarios. I mean, with Matt, they run every game they're playing in, which it goes both ways. But the thing is, who's gonna come into the clutch? I mean,
I think Matt is hungry for this. I think he wants
Matt is hungry. We know Matt's hungry. He's been saying it.
I think I have Matt winning this game. I think Ike, I think he kind of thinks he's on top of the world right now. And I don't know if he's gonna. He might be overconfident going into it. I think it's very possible.
Overconfident is better than underconfident, though, and I think Ike's gonna take this one.
Oh, okay.
I think the game that he's in is perfect for a style of play, like we've discussed before with Addie and Connor, the cooler presence, and where his electric play style can bang, bang, bang in your face. Before you know it, it's done. He's over. It's all over but the crying, and Ike's in the championship. I think Ike's gonna take that one. I could also see a world where Connor runs it and wins it, But
I think the hardest one to see is Addie winning it.
It is going to be tough to see Addie winning it just because the competition is so good. But yeah, I think Ike's going to take this one.
We'll wrap it up with the logistics of the tournament. So obviously it got delayed.
Yep. With Matt's confirmation time, we don't want.
It's not his fault at all. It's not Barb's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, and we don't want anybody missing.
Yep.
So we're thinking of moving it to August 10th.
Yep, we're trying to check with everybody. It seems like it's gonna work out. If for some reason it doesn't.
We're not sure yet. Yep. If everything falls apart, we might have to do it over vacation.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to avoid.
That's last case scenario, but if we have to, we will. But we're really trying to get this done so we can build a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you remember last championship, the lit cabins.
It was hard.
It was tough to do. Whereas at Grandma Grandpa's, it was an electric.
Yeah, it was.
Electric atmosphere. It was awesome.
I think we're gonna repeat that this year, and it's gonna be.
We want to make it a place where we're having fun. Yeah. We can compete. It's a great time.
So you're also a little nervous. I want people to be terrified before their game.
Yeah, because
this is it.
This is what we've been training for all year.
Yeah. We're really excited. We're excited to see everybody there.
Yep. Hopefully. Will we see the first time that a new champion?
I hope so. That's my biggest hope is that someone else will come.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good this year. So 3-peat hopefully coming, but it's gonna be fun.
Stay tuned on the Instagram for more updates.
We will give updates on the Instagram, maybe some storylines that are coming.
Maybe some awesome hype videos.
Yeah, hype video, maybe a sweet Delta Dawn edit.
Maybe, I don't know.
We haven't really discussed anything about a sweet Delta Dawn edit the morning of the tournament.
So don't look out for that.
So don't look out for a sweet Delta Dawn edit. But
yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for listening to the second Lemon Party podcast. Hopefully it becomes more of a tradition and we keep doing this every year.
We will see you on August 10th.